take your seats. To my ever lovely wife, Yelsi, the Executive Vice President of Brigada, and to our kids, Shan, Sam, Seseth, tulog na. Our Vice President for Operations, Attorney Froibel Khan Balieke, with his lovely wife, Miss Irene. Our guest speaker of the night, Attorney Raul Miguel, the President of the General Santos City Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who will be formally introduced to us later, and with his wife, Miss Alona Miguel, the President of the City Bankers Association of General Santos, our beloved City Vice Mayor, si Kumari Vice Mayor Shirlene Banyas Nograles. Mayong gabi igid, kagdamo nga salamat sa pagkatudi. And also, good evening to Kagawad Beth Bagunok. Asa si Kagawad? Okay, so thank you Kagawad Bagunok. And sa lahat na nandito, members of the Brigada Top Management Executive Committee, key officers, managers of the different departments, companies and stations of Brigada employees, my ever-supportive fellow Rotarians of the Rotary Club of the Diangas. Dili daw to Metro the Diangas. Rotary Club of the Diangas. With our President, Dr. Myra Atindido. Mauna mo ang presidente perti kapag aktibo. Guests, ladies and gentlemen, mga kabrigada, good evening. Hinay kayo. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, mga kabrigada, good evening. Ana, medyo kusog-kusog na gyud. I would like also to acknowledge the presence of our families who are here. From the Yasay family, Nanay Filomena Minang Yasay, na dito sa gilid. Michael Jade Fuentes, kauban ni Nanay. And to the Catulpos family, my father, Dominador Duming Catulpos, my mother dear, Alicia Diding Catulpos, my brother, Dominador Jr., with his wife, Cheribeth, and daughter Darlene, my sisters, Emily Catulpos and Aileen Catulpos, with her kid, Aiko. Thank you so much for your time, for being with us tonight. Tonight, we are celebrating not just the 10th year, the 10th anniversary of Brigada Group of Companies, but the tremendous success we have achieved despite the odds. As rightly stated in our anniversary theme, wala man, asa na to, Jid? A decade of passionate service. 10 successful years. Muna siya, a decade of passionate service. Muna'y winning piece ni Attorney Khan. Decade of passionate service mo ay nakadaog sa mo ang theme for this celebration karong gabi una. 10 successful years and Brigada has arrived. Hard to believe that my intent then to earn on the sides and provide better life to my wife and children would be an avenue for me to assume a bigger role, that of a steward of God's blessings. Do not get me wrong on this, as I may sound like a preacher, but I am truly grateful to the God Almighty for the huge blessings He bestowed upon me and my family. This only means that the outpouring of blessings must be shared. I have all the reasons to believe on this with what I have gone through early in my life as a child, innocently trying to survive, not growing up, but trying to survive in a small remote village back in Zamboanga del Sur. What could a boy playing around in a tattered girl's dress think about, except to put something into his hungry stomach? What I am wearing today or the food we are having was not even in that boy's figment of imagination. I did not see all this coming. What I desired as a husband and father was just have enough resources to lead a happy, healthy, and content life. What came was more than enough, so enormous, making me think as what I believe now. Brigada, which I started, literally rose from scratch and lead a fairy tale-like story. Some 10 years ago, in the land called Jensen, lives a man who desired to be a good family provider. He loaned 1,000 pesos from a friend to start a small business. Using a scratch paper, a recycled paper to be exact, he asked a known cartoonist in the person of Mr. Marcabangon to draw caricatures on it. He then brought the paper with the caricature on it to a risograph shop along Aparente Street, and by the stroke of midnight, came out, printed the first 200 copies of Tolindoy Tips, from which Brigada started. Tolindoy Tips, the forerunner of Brigada, sold like hotcakes and became a hit. The rest is history. Can we please ask Manong Mar Cabangon to stand? Asa si Manong Mar? Daghan kayong salamat. Palakpakan nato sa Manong Mar. Also, I would like to recognize the heroes of Brigada and express my utmost appreciation and deep gratitude to our Brigada newspaper dealers, newsboys, and newsgirls. Asang ato mga newsboys ug mga newsgirls? Pakitindog. They were the ones who helped me in those difficult times when I started Brigada. Without them, perhaps this venture will not grow as what it is now. I owe a lot to you mga newsboys ug mga newsgirls nato diha sa likod. Salamat kayo sa inyoha ug utang nako ng tanan sa inyoha. Gamblers are risk takers, but not all risk takers are gamblers. I am more of the later. Early on in my running Brigada, I played the role of a gambler. I took risk, even without the certainty of winning, and just like what most gamblers do, I put in investment with sheer guts and high optimism. What I did paid off, obviously. As I have experienced when venturing into business, taking risk is the number one consideration. Second is sheer luck. Third, good timing. Fourth is hard work. And fifth is keeping a good image. When I put up Brigada as a tri-media company, I envisioned that it will do the unusual when it comes to generating revenues. While most media companies survive on advertisement sales, it is a different story with Brigada. We do not rely on third-party advertisements to support our operations, and this makes us practically independent when it comes to our journalistic roles. There were those who passed judgment on what I did and even predicted that the business will not last longer than 6 months. To this, I just smiled because in my mind, I know what I am doing, I know why I am doing this, and I know the directions where I want to go. I took the negative comments as exciting challenge to work hard, and yes, I proved to them that they were all wrong. We went beyond the predicted 6 months in a flourishing and glorious manner, and we now hurdle the decade mark of our existence by a huge leap, all in God's grace. To you, my kabrigada, the first decade of Brigada is only a warming up of our engine, so to speak. For the journey ahead can be really arduous and challenging. The last 10 years have allowed us to lay down the path for the direction we are taking and have something to look back to, learning from past mistakes and drawing strength from it as we pursue further our mission with service, with passion. In the last 10 years, we have proven how resilient and sustainable we are, gaining knowledge and ability to bounce back when faced with challenges and difficulties. For this, I thank God for always guiding me and providing the brilliant minds and excellent workers talented individuals who are brave enough to confront difficult situations and very dedicated to their works. Palakpakan nato mga taga-brigada. I extend my gratitude to the members of the top management executive committee for always having the courage, even pushing their abilities beyond their limits for the sake of the company. Can the members of the Brigada Executive Committee rise, please? Salamat kayo sa inyo, ha? Mga banggiitang mga Executive Committee members, thank you. Sometimes at night, before I sleep, I keep on thinking and pondering on my life's journey. I am proud to say that I came from a poor family. I spent my life studying high school and college as a working student. Despite of the hardships, I kept a dream that someday this poor guy will have a better life. That dream is far from what we have now. With Brigada emerging as one of the promising group of companies in the country, with almost 1,000 employees, I realized that it is not only about doing business. Thinking of my life's purpose, I realized that it is about my sense of responsibility. Yes, I have to internalize that sense of responsibility within my mind and my heart. I have my family, I have a 1-year-old baby, and I have the people who trust my leadership, trusting their life in my company. I cannot afford that the trust you gave me would amount to nothing. I need to be more serious in running the management of our company in its next decade. Because if I fail to do my job properly, hundreds of Brigada employees will become jobless. And maybe many of the children of our employees will suffer the consequences of my failure. I cannot afford this to happen. I realize that sense of responsibility is my life's sense of purpose. Maybe I am only one of God's instruments to lead this group of people who found employment with us for the future of their families. I believed that Brigada is a blessing that must be shared. As such, we need to work together. It must necessarily to follow then that everyone in Brigada must be serious and take responsibility in their respective roles as executives, managers, directors, and even the rank and file. Each one needs to develop a sense of ownership and responsibility, whether you are department head, station manager, reporter, or a utility person. We need to be more certain in our moves over the next decade. I see the next 10 years will be more exciting as we adopt a proactive approach to management rather than the reactive manner that we have in the past. We have established a system that will allow us to move methodically and scientifically. We need not fear problems. When issues arise, we need not waste time blaming and pointing fingers at anyone, but instead focus ourselves and resources in seeking solutions. In the coming years, there will be more challenging developments because of the very fast changing of business trends, opportunities, innovations of technology. We expect stiffer competitions with the coming of ASEAN integration, where 10 countries in Southeast Asia will act as one in trade relationship, working in an open market for products and services. For us in Brigada, we look at it as a very positive and exciting development. Brigada is not scared of competitions. We know our game, and we are very confident with our capabilities. We would just be prudent in making decisions crucial or otherwise, to be able to respond to significant opportunities. I have the confidence, as we already have competent people with brilliant minds, right skills, and relevant expertise for Brigada to move decisively with cutting-edge precision. Our guiding principle is very simple. Every time we venture to a business, we design it for our target market. It is not what we want, but it should always be what the people want. The year 2016 to 2020 will be very crucial for the broadcast media business in the Philippines because this is the transition period from analog to fully digitalized broadcasting. But Brigada need not to worry on this. About 90% of Brigada's broadcast transmitters are so far digital ready. With the uncertainties in the broadcast media business in the years to come, Brigada is unfazed. We have steadily strengthened our competence to our main business, which is the distribution of our health products. As I have said, Brigada does not rely on third-party advertisement. Our bread and butter is the distribution of our health products. Our Brigada News TV and Brigada News FM stations take the role of being the primary marketing arm of Brigada Healthline Corporation in making known our own health products to the public. If you are a manager of Brigada News FM or Brigada News TV, your task and mandate is very clear. You have to lead your team and help push the campaign for our products to gain necessary foothold and post remarkable sales. I am quite strong on this as your expenses, salaries included, depend on it. Being that you have to assume the role not just of a media person, but that of a marketer as well. Nagbibinta or kanang mamaligya ta. Di ba? Okay. Because this is the unique nature of Brigada as marketing media company. We should be creative in endorsing our products. If we fail to do it, our radio and TV stations operations will not survive, and perhaps our employment will be in peril. Let me be very clear to all that we are not like the other media networks that are very dependent on third-party advertisers. We dream of being the biggest marketing media network in the country. For now, we are on the right track in making expansions in our distribution business and putting up of our new radio stations. We also need to innovate our strategies in creating needed demand for our products. This as we develop products that are highly needed in the market. We have already expanded our product lines from food supplements. We now have medicinal drugs, cosmetics, household products, and forthcoming our line of basic commodity products. We already opened 2 branches of Brigada Pharmacy with convenience store and will be opening a 3rd and 4th branches next month. We will continue our expansion by constructing more branches nationwide. Distribution and retailing are the new direction of Brigada for the next decade. Our priority is to put up branches of Brigada pharmacies in areas that we have our radio stations. Going side by side, we expand in our distribution and retailing business. We also expand our broadcast stations to support the promotional and advertisement campaign of our products in our pharmacies. We will use the technology advancement that we already have, which I think will ensure more success for us. The learning of the past and the potentials we have shown serve as the strong armor we can have in breaking through the barriers for success. With what we have achieved, my family and I, with my beautiful wife, Yelsie, our kids, Shan and Sam, si Seth tulog na, we are very thankful to all of you, the officers, managers, and employees of Brigada. Daghan kaayong salamat sa inyo. And we are looking forward to further work with you in the coming years, into the next decade of Brigada, which may it bring another fairy tale-like story. A journey of life, happy ever after. Daghan kayong salamat. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Please turn your attention to our big screens. And let me share to you my Brigada journey.